because you know what, I'm an ally, and I don't agree what Charles Khan says.
I'll
you know,
look into
Charles,
a camera and flat out say I hate women. I don't respect them. Anyway.
Hello and welcome to Real Weird Sickos. My name is Tom Videogro, and I hope you're having a terrific day, whatever day it is today for you. But you know who's also terrific? It's my good friend, Jen. How you doing, Jen? I'm
good. How are you? You were eating a hash brown. I heard you eat a hash brown, and it's weird because it's like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. Because it's wacky that our time differences are extremely wacky because you're in upside down land. I'm talking out of my ass, by the way.
Look at my wacky passport. You know who's wacky? Wacky tobacco, but not the smoking. It's our good friend Charles Khan. Charles, how you doing, buddy?
Well, brother, let me tell you. Been wacky and tobacco all through Cincinnati.
Somebody's tired.
Hell yeah.
Somebody's a sleepy boy.
Oh, listen
right.
here, pal. If you had to battle ghosts as often as I do, you would be sleepy too. You know, I don't have a nuclear-powered reactor on my back. I'm just using horseshoes. Silver, pure cast iron.
But you know who's also a ghost that we love and who's full of fun and who's also full of gum? It's GhostGum. How we doing, matey?
Oh, I'm doing so good. It's good to be here. Finally. I've been
I know. We've been trying to make this happen for a
the
little
last
while.
time was completely fucking my fault. I just like
No, it's alright, matey.
But I'm here now. That's what's important.
Hey, exactly, my handsome friend. So what's happening on your slice of the globe? What's been popping?
Dude, I was in America for a bit. I moved to America for like 2 months, and then I came back. I'm back in Canada now after everything's fucking calmed down. Thank God we're not in fucking world news headlines anymore. Our tiny little country can't take it.
Yeah,
and you guys are not in your lockdown anymore. They're gonna get rid of masks there too. Huh?
Yeah, they got rid of the passports, but they just have the masks. But I think they're getting rid of those within the month. I think they said, which is nice. Like just being able, yeah. And I was in Texas, where it's like, oh, you know, it's not even like it's not even like a conversation piece. People are like, what the? Yeah, I guess. Like, you know,
you walk out in Texas, it's like Mad Max.
Yeah,
yeah. And that's coming from us.
Well, it's oh yeah, from the Aussie. No, you know what was great in Texas was like I remember like maybe my 3rd or 4th day there. I was like walking down the street and being like, it's January and I'm in fucking shorts and a t-shirt. Like this is fucking unreal. Like the best.
Yeah. What is it over there right now? What is it in Toronto right now?
It's 1 degree for my fellow metric users.
1 degree.
Yeah, so it's like what 33 or something. I think.
Yeah.
We're post-COVID, post-convoy, but now we're post-Eden Ring. How are you liking it, matey?
Oh, dude, that game fucking Eden's Ring. Hell yeah, that game kicks ass, dude. It's so fucking good. It's like, I don't know, I had a period where I just wasn't fucking playing video games at all, and I was just like, I couldn't find anything I liked, and then I got this, and I've just been fucking obsessed. I'm like, this game is fucking the greatest. It's so fucking good.
Probably the best open world game ever.
Well, that was my whole thing. I was like, I thought they were going to fuck it up by making it open world, where it's like, they did that with Mass Effect. Like, I fucking love Mass Effect, and they made the open world one, and it sucked dick. So I was like, I hope that didn't happen here, and that, you know, they did an amazing job. It's a fucking great game.
Because it doesn't sound real that like a Souls game would, you know, could be open world like the way that it is. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You'd think like just, because they're so like the worlds are so carefully crafted in the other ones that like that would kind of fuck it up. But they do a really good job. It's really
these dudes
fucking
clearly
awesome.
Played some Zelda. They understand how to make a game.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like when you play Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
You know, everything's connected.
Zelda. Well, how many Zeldas are open world? I think it's only really truly Breath of the Wild. The other ones are more zoned out areas.
I could say that, you know, Elden Ring is a little zoned out as well. Like you could probably get from one end to the other, but it's very clearly like, oh, the sky's turned red. I'm in a whole other world here. Like this is I crossed the wrong bridge, brother.
Exactly. All right, we have to ask, what's everyone's first character? Did you pick samurai?
I am a samurai.
I went samurai too.
I'm a samurai.
Oh, there we go. Fucking hell.
I haven't had time. I haven't played yet.
Me too. I'm still.
I like just started, so I'm like maybe a couple, like 4 or 5 hours in.
See,
this just got the game, but
oh yeah, you're just really breaking it.
I have been Mr. Gamer this week. I have put almost 11 hours into the ring.
Dang. Is that it?
You don't understand, Jen. I'm up for 3 hours a day in daylight. Like this is, this is
I know,
what day,
I know
day
people
5?
that are like in like 40. They're like already like in 40, 50,
well,
60
those people don't
already.
have jobs.
Fair point.
That's true. That's true.
Those people aren't adult men. If you're an adult man, if you're an adult man with a real job and other things going on, and you've put 11 full hours into a video game, that must be one hot game.
True.
It is true. It's true.
True. But I will have to say, is who's playing keyboard, who's playing controller? Like, I need to know.
I'm going controller.
Is anybody playing keyboard?
Some masochists out there are, and it's insane. I've heard people genuinely playing this game.
I'm sure there's a guy out there who's like, I'm playing on the Guitar Hero keyboard.
There's always that fucking asshole. I beat Dark Souls.
I'm using DJ Hero.
It would be extremely hard to play any Souls game on a fucking keyboard. Like, come on. Like, like, I'm sorry. I'm not. I would not attempt any fucking Souls game on a keyboard.
Does it even support that? I didn't even know it even supported that.
It does, yeah.
PC, but I guess it has to.
Yeah, sleepy boy. But there are so many like videos out there. Like, I play blank with blank, like a Guitar Hero. I play with a fucking like driving wheel. Like it's
because GT7 came out this week.
Yes,
even on Thursday, Gran Turismo 7, and
I was disappointed.
I know people that are playing it with wheels and pedals.
It's sad.
I know somebody that's been doing
another
every
racing
day.
game. Like, I wanted to see Gran Turismo come out. But this time it's got laser beams. This time it's got hovercrafts. This time they're orcs.
No, but it's actually like graphically, it's amazing.
Was it like the last one where people were pissed off because like there weren't enough cars, or like they cut the amount of cars in it by like a significant amount?
Yeah, like people were not happy with the last GT game at all.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's a fucking car game. Like, why are you cutting the fucking cars? Like, and then.
Especially on a game that you have to grind to get in order to get a car.
Oh yeah, the GT thing. Like that's the whole thing, is the climb to get the new cars. You have to work through different classes, and you start off like racing vans, and you're just the suckiest. Like, well, I guess I'm racing this stupid Honda van for a long time.
It's like, if you ever played like SmackDown versus Raw, like you start it and you're like, your character's like the generic.
I can't imagine
wrestler.
anyone on this podcast would have ever played
about
that
wrestling.
game.
Everybody hates. And this is an anti-wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Everybody hates wrestling. All the homies hate wrestling.
Gum summoned the wrestling talk now.
Oh, dude.
All right, so
it won't end. It literally will not end.
It's
and
like
then Jen
just
won't
comes down from the rafters like Sting.
Pandora's box.
Exactly. Sting! All right, GT, favorite wrestling game of all time?
Oh, well, fuck. Maybe a classic for me was WWE No Mercy on N64. Yeah. I used to play that when I was a kid, but probably my most hours was like SmackDown vs. Raw, I think 2010 or 2011. Yeah. That was more my era, because that was like when I was like obsessed with wrestling. It was like,
the THQ era.
It would show my age. I think the probably Attitude or that first SmackDown are probably the ones that have the most hours from Charlie.
Fair.
Just a crazy amount of time. Oh, way more than 11 hours, Jen. Don't you worry.
I was about to say.
I was going to say Shut Your Mouth. Not me just saying that. But the PS2 title.
I want to say that was the second one on PS2.
The second one. I want to say second one. But those ones, they were so gritty. Like the backstage stuff. Like I loved all like the weird little biddly
stuff. You could wander around through the backstage areas. You could go to their stupid restaurant. You can pick up couches and warp one another with them. Have couch fights.
Smashing into locker room and fighting like in the showers and breaking through walls and stuff. It's like, that's fun.
I don't know which one.
Fighting in the showers, you say?
We played one.
Are you sure it's just fighting?
I wonder how I turned out.
Man in this.
There was one of them that let you fight in Vince McMahon's office, and it had the damn T-Rex on the wall, and you could sling a guy into the T-Rex on the wall and pick it up and slam somebody in it.
Dang, man,
so dumb.
Because I saw like this might have been a couple years ago, like one of the new WWE games. Everyone was shitting on it, and I didn't play it, but I saw footage and I was like, God damn, like that looks
2K20.
Yeah, 2K20. That was the one where everyone was just like,
I
hated
feel like
that one.
That stopped me from ever buying a WWE title again. I'll never buy a new 2K title from them. Fuck them.
Buy them. I buy them to specifically hate them and hate play them because I love wrestling and I love bad. There's something fun to me about bad. And the WWE wrestling games have been so bad for so long. I think if I wasn't buying them every year, I was buying them every other year, starting around like 14 or 15, just to have like wrestling when people come over. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll play wrestling. I've got wrestling.
I do the same with sports games. It's a real fucking guilty pleasure. And like I made a video about this, so I'm kind of exposing myself a bit here. But like every now and then I'll just be like, I'll be really into like a sport and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll just buy the game. If it's like cheap, if it's like $20, it's like, okay, I don't feel bad about picking one. Like I recently picked up NBA 2K and I got like it was a pretty good deal on it, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll pick it up. Why not? And
yeah,
it's like
usually
I don't know. It's not good. It's not a good game, but it's like it's kind of like fast food. Like I just play it for like a bit, and I don't really.
The move to do when there's a new console generation is buy a basketball game, a football game, a hockey game. Doesn't necessarily have to be the new one. Just whichever one seems like the one to grab. Like that way, somebody comes over and is like, oh, well, if you got NHL, I want to play some NHL. Oh yeah, I've got 2K13. Let's play that one. Okay.
Right. It's also like the way I used it is kind of like just to shut my brain off. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play NBA 2K and I'm just gonna zone out for like an hour or like an hour and a half and just not pay attention to anything I'm doing. There's no story. I don't give a shit about anything. I just want to have some like mindless fun. And like, I'll either do that with like sports games or like RTS games. But the only difference with that is like, you like with Civ 5, I'm like, all right, I'm going to zone out and play Civ 5. And then I've played it for fucking like 7 hours. And I'm like, okay, I have a fucking problem.
There's one of the NBA games recently had just this really awkward and weird storyline. I think Spike Lee was involved.
Oh, I played that one. It was fuck. And it was like one of the more recent ones. Yeah, like,
I made a character that looked like a Neanderthal. He had red hair,
living the dream. Apparently,
yeah, he had red hair.
That's
and like his eyebrows like pushed out way too far, and I made his skin like chalk white. Just the weirdest, craziest character possible.
Well, the Spike Lee thing is like that's like actual like NBA lore though, because it's like he's been going to he has like
he's like a hardcore Knicks
Mr. Knicks.
Yeah, like he's like a Knicks, and he's been like for like decades, like floor seats, like screaming at refs and shit. So that's
he was in those commercials. 30 years? He did the She's Gotta Have It, and then I think She's Gotta Have It come before the commercials, where he just played the same character, which, the character in the movie is kind of him. It's sort of, this fast
self-insert Mary Sue.
If I'm going to shit on anything, then I'm going to shit on the fucking, like, GTA, like, DLC, like, the fucking, like, Dr. Dre, like, rap one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even...
the self-insert character memes.
It's so, like... It's so awkward. Like, I can't explain it.
I watched ManyKudos video. I think he did on Dungeons and Dragons, where he talked about that stream where the guy just like quit and like made himself. I'm gonna butcher this, but it was like,
I can try to explain.
Yeah.
So
please
what
go
happened?
Ahead, I don't remember.
It was so I believe around 2013ish they started a stream called Critical Role. That was a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors that got together and decided to play Dungeons and Dragons on stream. Well, what was really going on was Felicia Day had a company that was, what was it, Geek and Sundry? I believe that's the name of the company, yeah. She was reaching out to people, putting on different shows, like Will Wheaton had a thing, and she knew all these voice actors, and they were playing Pathfinder. She got them to play on screen, and I guess a deal was done somewhere, because there was a new version of D&D out at that time. So they started playing that on the stream. About, I'm going to say 20, 30 weeks into that run. So that's about half a year-ish. One of the players in the game got booted. And there's a lot of controversy about exactly what it was that was the deal that got rid of that guy. Now, some people think it was him metagaming, like he would slip out for a cigarette and then come back and know exactly what to do with his character. Like maybe he was looking stuff up, maybe he was asking somebody for advice, like a phone a friend thing. There's some of that. Some people think that maybe he did something to somebody who worked at Geek and Sundry, like something was said or something was done. Like maybe he made a joke or something.
I will say ManyKudos does cover the reasons why in total, but he was a bit of a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
A bit of a fucking weirdo is a nice way to fucking put it.
Yeah.
He made some weird, like, some joke about the girl. Fuck. It was some sex joke that everyone was like, oh, like, why? Like, why, man? It's like you're playing D&D. It's a mess. It was a mess.
Some really crazy
what
things.
was the joke? What was the joke?
Fuck, I can't remember. I would have to watch the video again. It's in the video.
It was Oren. By the way, I should say the guy's name is Oren.
Oren.
Yeah, I watched the video.
Oren.
I just can't remember what the joke was.
Yeah, it was a great video. Our pal ManyKudos did a great video.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, man. His like many scandals videos, like I think almost all of them I just don't really like. All the hobbies he covers, I don't really care about them, or just I don't really play them, but I still watch those fucking videos because it's so entertaining to me to just be like, right, like it's like he kind of explains it in a way where like someone like me who has like no interest in a lot of this stuff is still
exactly
I'm like, this is still fucking so entertaining, like to see. Like what was the one he did? It was something. Oh, I think it was the Warhammer one.
That was recent one.
It was fucking hilarious. Oh my god,
and he's like the king of ads, and he's the king of ads too.
Oh, his ads are.
If like anybody that puts an ad on their video, cool. Like I respect the hustle, but like something about the way that ManyKudos, I always look forward to like his sponsor plugs in every video because it's always going to be super creative. So.
He's very good in transition into the ad too.
Yes, very good.
I'll say I'm very happy to be associated with that dude. Like I did a couple stuff for him in the ad stuff, but he is the most dedicated dude I've ever met. Like I met him when he was like he was 200 subscribers and we were working at VidCon, and to see him blow up today, it's a testament to his skill and talent.
I love seeing that. I love seeing people doing well.
Just like GhostGum. I like seeing GhostGum
exactly.
doing well.
Yeah, GhostGum.
Like his videos have been banging.
Lately.
Like
absolutely.
Like there's like we have like a Discord server where everybody kind of puts like their thumbnails and shit, you know, like what should I do about this? And every single time that GhostGum puts a thumbnail in there, it's like I'm clicking that shit.
Well, the thumbnail thing was like that kind of came in a weird way where like I used to just kind of try a bunch of shit on my old videos and I couldn't really get anything to work, and then I made a video like the original Reddit mods video. I just took some meme I found with that picture. And then I just erased the text and like wrote just Reddit mods. And then that video was like my first kind of, I mean, at the time it didn't like do well, but it was like one of the first videos that did all right. And so I was like, all right, that's my formula now. That's what works. And then, I find
it up to almost 2 million views.
It's now, the way to do things. It like life itself feels like, you remember Jurassic Park when the guy describes the raptors, how they would just claw at the electric fence trying to find the weak spot? That's what it feels like doing online work, where you figure out what works, where the fence is the weakest, and you just keep attacking that and figure out how to get a little further out.
Well, it is true. Like, especially like, videos I've made in the past, or like stuff I put in videos that just like doesn't work. And like you get, you kind of learn what works and what doesn't in certain things. And like sometimes, like I remember I used to have like I think I used to have like an outro on my videos, or like I would try and put like intros and shit. And then I was like, this is stupid. Like, I don't want to force this on everything. And I think it's kind of like just like dumb shit like that, where you're like, oh, this is working. People kind of enjoy this. So I'm going to keep doing this, but try and, don't be a one trick pony, but like do this and do it in different ways, You know
what bothers me is when I know something's funny, when I go, this works, I know this is funny. And I just like, TikTok's just not getting it. And then I put it on Instagram. Instagram gets it. Instagram loves it. But then Twitter is like, we don't like this one either.
Well, you're dealing with, seriously totally different like algorithms.
Oh yeah,
that's there.
It's so weird.
Totally.
I've also experimented with pulling stuff off of TikTok and then re-uploading it to TikTok and then it blowing up. So I don't know what's going on there.
Like we had this conversation, I think like at VidCon, with a bunch of people where we were talking about how like, look at like if you look at now, you look at GhostGum, you look at Vince Vintage, and you look at ManyKudos, like, banger tweets, funny tweets. But for some reason, like like they're like, I don't understand why my Twitter's not growing. This is so stupid. But then like you look at the commentary community, they have less subs, they have all this, and they're like, Twitters are fucking huge. And it's like, what in the actual fuck is up with that? You know,
well, I think it's like they're almost creating content for like that Twitter audience, whereas like, you know, their audience is going to follow them onto Twitter to get kind of updates on their videos, maybe. Whereas for me, it's like my Twitter is like almost completely unrelated to my YouTube channel.
It's shit posts, yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly shit posts.
You know, like mine only popped off because of like retweets, like ring. You know, if like you get like a wing retweet like a few times in a week,
geez,
like you're eventually going. Like if it happens like every day or every other day, like it's gonna pop a little bit. So
yeah, it's the thing about Twitter is you have to remember it's social media. So if you notice people in your replies, you have to get in there and talk to people. And there's something very satisfying.
I don't always do that.
If I can't do that, I'll try to go through and just like every single reply to everything I post.
And that's hard to do. Like,
it takes time.
I don't like replying to everybody because it's like, that's exhausting.
Yes.
I'll reply to like what I want to reply to.
Jen, you really like you reply once, and that's basically it on each tweet, and that's fair. That's fair.
But
I never reply to shit.
So part of it,
because I mute it if it pops off.
So a lot of people I talk to, like the social media.
Oh, gee, yeah, we can talk about that in a bit.
The big thing is
as soon as you know you've hit the Wang retweet, I automatically mute it. I might go back and look because sometimes replies are really funny.
Oh yeah,
there are some really great fucking replies, and I'll go back and read them. But for the most part, I cannot be fucked to reply to shit.
Oh well, yeah. That's like speaking of muting. Like I gotten myself into like my first ever like drama.
Yes,
you're in drama.
How
What'd
that
you do?
started.
Oh Jesus!
Tell everybody how this started, and tell everybody how it ended up. This is a good story.
Oh God! Well, it's basically like so. What happened was like this guy kind of reacted to my video. And like it was like a zero reaction. Like he didn't say anything and just like
he literally sat there, did nothing.
Brony. Oh
yeah.
He basically just re-uploaded one of
no, Jen, we've got to correct. It was just a random shithead channel.
It was a random
that takes the VODs.
There was no reaction. There was no input. There was nothing. It was dry. It was bland. It was stale. It was nothing. Okay.
And then
even the girls that watch anime react bigger than this. You know the sweater girls.
Susie Lou does more.
I wasn't mentioning her. I'm thinking of a different
more
girl.
She reacted more than this guy. It reacts to like anything. Like Hassan Piker reacted more to fucking like kitchen nightmares than this shit. Okay, I'm sorry.
But like so basically like I this was like kind of when that whole Dark Viper critical thing was kind of happening. I was kind of like I remember it was like I was about to go to bed one night and I just like saw that and I fucking I just was like fuck it, I'm just gonna tweet this out. I never usually get into shit like that. I hate getting into shit like that, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you know, I don't give it because I genuinely like people reacting to my shit, but then like I saw this and I was like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, come on, man. And then I woke up the next morning and the tweet went fucking nuts. And I think it was a Wang retweet, but he was like, I guess like the whole thing with this guy, the guy on Twitch is like, he's like known for not reacting. And the whole kind of entertainment comes from his chat. And so like
and his whole community is they're nuts.
They're
nuts.
Fucking crazy. So I was getting like spammed. I was getting like crazy DMs. I was like, and then someone posted my tweet on like the live stream fails subreddit.
Yeah.
And it made it to like the front page. It was literally like the top post for I think like a day or two. It was fucking crazy. And I was just like, and then I didn't even like make any comments after that. I had like I will say like one guy did message me and he's like, hey man, I'm just gonna explain to you like kind of what's going on here because like you know, and then he was really nice about it and I was like, oh thanks man, like I didn't really understand this but yeah, it was stupid. It was like I don't think I was wrong, but I just kind of wish I didn't get into it in the sense of like because
his toxic community raided you and that's essentially
exactly
because we everyone who tweeted on that fucking thing got hit by them copy pasting shit.
Yeah, and anybody that replied or came out for you, like they went and like you fuck. Yeah, it was one of the more toxic things like I've seen in like a while.
Yeah, it was like really
and I've interacted with the drama commentary community, okay?
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything at all, like if that, you know, that's pretty bad.
Right. And
it makes
it was
fucking
like
Keemstar look like a fucking tea party. Jesus Christ.
It was crazy. And I've never like been in drama. Like I don't even think I've really had many like I've never had a public dispute.
You haven't. You haven't. Let me tell you guys something. GhostGum is a nice boy.
You want to
very nice boy.
You want to do?
Well, I just try and stay out of that shit.
Some heat with me. Let's have a public fight, Ghost.
Just completely for attention.
Do the public fight and keep the public fight going until we release this podcast. And, I don't know.
Yeah, and then it'll all.
If I just tweet out, you know, who's a sumbitch. GhostGum.
Be like, fuck you, fuck you. Just
yeah, but then what if all the Charles Conn stands like start coming after GhostGum now? I mean, like.
Well, here's the thing: engagement's engagement. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if people want to tweet at me or reply to everything I post. Say this guy's a piece of shit. We don't like Charles. Thanks. Yeah, I love it.
It's like
Put me in the algorithm, boys.
I think like the only time it wasn't even Twitter drama. We were just all shitting on Tipster. Like,
I remember that. I was like in the group chat.
It was after like the whole Oki thing.
Yeah, I wasn't involved, but I watched that go down. It was very funny.
It was hilarious. And he just like he had those like DMs like on deck, and it was just like, wait a minute. We were all watching because it's like, you know, he had told us like right before he went on, he was like, okay, I'm going to go on. And then like he goes on to Tipster's stream, and Tipster, he's just like a big baby. And then he like read DMs, and it was just so stupid. But I told him beforehand, like, this is what's going to happen. This is what this guy, like, he just likes to use stuff for clips. And so we were all like shitting on him like relentlessly for like a couple of weeks. And this guy's blocked me so many different times and unblocked me and like refollowed me. And then he went on an apology tour right after. And speaking of reacting, right after Moist Critical watched Oki's video on his stream, like he was reacting to like his latest one, which is like
that's a good ass video.
Never seen
it's
it.
a really fucking good video, by the way. Yeah,
ridiculously genius. So it's like he reacted to it. So right after Oki's video started popping up, that's when like an apology tour was like happening. It's so kind of like,
at least pretend
then, like I know. And then it was just like, and then he like did that to Slush like a couple of weeks ago, where he was like about the Mr. Girl thing. And he was like, I was really critical of like Slush's video and I shouldn't have been, and I'm really sorry. And then like Slush was like, hey, what changed your mind? And he never responded. So it was like, that's how you know the guy's a disingenuous fuck, okay? Like that's exactly how you know that this is like, that's how it is. So
well, it's like with those guys, those like comment. No, you're good. With those like commentary guys, I don't really think they know. I mean, I met some of them like at VidCon, and it was like fine, and like I don't really necessarily have an issue with them. I don't like watch their content, but with communities like that, and this is kind of going back to what we were talking about before with like those really toxic Twitch communities or commentary communities. Like I feel like I kind of keep them at an arm's length or arm's reach, you know. Like I don't want to, especially with like the commentary stuff, because I've seen how fucking out of control that can get, and like
I had like commentary Karens like.
Yeah, it's just like something.
How dare you say something about my favorite 20-year-old streamer? It's like,
I remember you fucking telling me that. Oh, the gross fucking weird 40-year-old motherfuckers talking about how much they love fucking Minecrafters.
Like, they're defending like these poor, like 22-year-old like drama streamers, like they're personal friends. It's real.
I don't even know who these 20-year-olds are, man.
They take it real. It's like Augie and like all of those guys. It's like they're super duper like they have like a group of Karens that are like super protective of them. Like they're the mods. They're like the super chatters. And hey, you know what? If it makes the boys money, like that's hella cool. But like in replies, they just like they go nuts.
Jen,
like,
you don't have to call them Karens. You can just call them
Karens.
No, Jen.
I've called them commentary Karens.
I'm telling you.
You know what you called them?
I don't give a shit, man. Like
you know what you actually called them? You called them.
I'm an asshole. Like Like that's
Do you
that's
call
still
them barren?
spreading me around.
They're barren. They can't have kids. They're barren.
No, some of them have kids. Some of them have kids, and it's literally, and I've posted it before. It's like literally like the Sims meme of like the baby on fire. And it's like, not now, honey. I have to make sure the super chat goes through to Augie RFC. You know, and like I said, if it makes them money, like fucking more power to them. But it's actually really funny because I think that was like during the whole like, you know, technicals thing. It's like, you know, a lot of us like we're friends with them. We had to come out for our friend, you know. It's like,
yeah, I love technicals, but like even like
there's a certain point.
For me, it's like when that drama was going on, I felt like kind of like sick, even though I had nothing to do with it. I just was like, I can't like. I mean, some of those guys love it, and I know Tech. Like I've taught, you know, he loves that shit. He loves getting into drama, and he loves fucking calling people out, which is like fine. That's, you know, good for him. But like, I can't even imagine. Like, I remember I had a video on my channel that's private now, which, I mean, some people know what it is. I'm not going to say it, but like, it was like about another person, and I'm just like, the thought of me doing that now, like just like shitting on another person who's like does YouTube is just like, I can't even imagine.
It's not
dude.
sure. It's not sure.
It's not what I do. Yeah,
it's not what you do. And
something.
And I've talked shit about people on this podcast, but actually sitting down and like making a video about like another YouTuber, like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and research a person. Like, there are certain dramas that I'll follow if I kind of know somebody that's involved, or it's more interesting if I know something that the general public maybe doesn't know.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit more spicy. But other than that, most of the time, like most of the dramas, I don't really give a fuck about. And if I want to know about a petty drama, I'll put on like a Tom Dark video.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't care about the petty drama. But like sitting down and making a drama video, like I'd put a 45 in my mouth, because that's literally like the most boring shit to like focus on and make content on.
Well,
I know what you mean by that. I love making jokes about people and goofing around. Like we've said on this podcast dozens of times over, we wouldn't wipe our ass with Pokemon. And I stand by that.
No, we didn't.
You guys
you
say
don't
whatever
stand
you
a
want.
queen. You don't stand a queen.
No,
I don't come on this podcast to hate women, because you know what, I'm an ally, and I don't agree what Charles Khan says.
You know, Charles flat out say I hate women. I don't respect them. Anyway, the thing is you want to attack. You want to attack.
That's the clip
persona.
at the start of the episode.
You want to attack persona. Not person. That's the idea. Is
the character?
Yeah. Like,
I know what you mean.
Like there's guys I can't stand, who I just every time I hear the name I go, oh God, that jabroni, Jesus Christ! Like it just kills me just to hear that bastard's name. And you know, and there's stuff that I've said before and posted memes of and things, and I've been really harsh on. I mean, I've really gotten that ass. And it's like, well, I probably went a little too personal. Probably shouldn't have attacked people that were connected to them. Probably shouldn't have made memes like this. You know, we probably went too far. But on the other hand, it's funny. So
next minute, I will say it's such a fucking it's a bit of a web of stuff when if somebody on the chain makes fun of somebody and you know that person is like, oh,
here's the thing.
Everyone's fucking connected.
I think I can watch a lot of this some of this stupid shit on the outside, but like talking to people like that do it constantly, like I would rather talk to people that are a little bit more in their own lane and make me want to do better shit. Like someone like GhostGum. Like GhostGum put out a video like yesterday, and I was like, all right, that makes me want to make better content. That makes me want to stay in my own lane.
That
you know, like
Kudos
puts out like fucking bangers, and it's like, okay, I want to do that too. I'd rather kind of more communicate and talk to people that are producing stuff, staying in their own lane, doing really cool shit, and not getting into this stupid fucking petty bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it is.
I would much rather surround myself with people that are doing that, with people that are like people like Oki, people that are fucking killing it, that are like,
it's like playing a sports game versus playing like Elden Ring.
Yes.
So there's a lot of content about content. There's some people I've had discussions with where the content is about someone else's content and how, look at this guy and how bad their content is. Isn't what they're doing bad? Look how bad they are.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
They make a response video about their bad, you know, and it's like, that doesn't that get boring?
At some point,
hate that shit.
That's what you're up to, is just saying other person bad.
It's a circle. It's a circle. It's a feedback circle.
Yeah.
Because one of them, they attack another one who doesn't.
In that same breath, the people that I'm going to surround myself, they're not jerking each other off constantly either. They're not like, oh, you're so fucking great. Your video was so fucking great. Like, everybody would actually give each other like constructive criticism,
right?
Because
that's
everybody
so huge.
wants. It's so fucking important. Like, because I've learned a lot just in the time I started making some to now. Like, I've learned a lot, and I've been really fortunate enough to learn from people that just know how to do things. So it's kind of like, tell me what you hate about this and don't jack me off.
Right. And also like having the comfort in like friends to be like, okay, here's some constructive criticism, and like knowing that they're not going to take it personally, or they're not going to be like, because there are some people, if there's a, criticism, they take criticism and they're like, oh, well, you're just a hater, and you just fucking are jealous or whatever. But it's like,
that your friends want to see you do well.
Exactly. And that's why, like, if my friend, if any of my friends tell me like, they give me like genuine criticism, like, hey, like this thumbnail, I didn't really like this thumbnail, I think you should change it. It's like, I know they're not doing it to be an asshole, like I know they're doing it because they're my friend and they're trying to succeed and they're trying to, see me succeed. And it's like, I think like surrounding yourself with a healthy group of people, like I've been so fortunate, the people I met on YouTube have all been like, just so cool. All the people I'm friends with, they've been great for me, great supporting me and shit like that. And it's like,
it makes you want to go out and do better stuff.
So this,
like
I
think like a whole like group of people that we know, it's kind of that's exactly that. Like, I want to go make good shit.
Yeah,
because I'm around people who do it.
I get up and call with those guys and I'm like, fuck, I want to make some cool shit,
Yeah,
I feel like Jen and Tom have been in my life the last 2 years or so. Thereabouts.
Yep.
And I remember like there's a world where Charles is doing stuff before he meets Tom and Jen and the other people that are doing stuff, all of his other content buddies, and then there's the world after. Like, that's a very like line in the sand, like, oh, this is a totally different reaction and a totally different world and a totally different way of working, because now there's this, I'm not just on an island by myself. Now we're part of a something different.
I think that's like, like Smetos talked about that before. It's like, when you're getting off the island and you have to meet people and you have to make friends, and it's not just about, it's not a social climbing thing. It's not just, it's a networking thing, and it's getting to know how people do things so you could better improve yourself. And it's not just from that. Just like GhostGum said, there's a lot of comfort in talking to somebody and just knowing, being on the same wavelength as far as like wanting to do something good on the platform and wanting to make something that matters, not only to you, that people are going to watch, and just having like a network of people that are kind of walking along that same line, and you kind of have the same common goals.
Even if
common
it's
goals
people,
not necessarily being, I want to be huge. I just want to make something that people will watch, and I want to make it good, and talking to people that want that too. And of course, you don't want your shit to bomb, but you want it,
But you want it where if it does bomb, you can understand why. You can get an outside perspective on why.
Yes, exactly.
There's been stuff I've done that has gone over just awful, just bombed completely. The numbers were terrible.
Me too.
Everybody hated it, and I look at it and go, all right, this was a learning experience. This wasn't
sure.
This isn't a personal thing on me where I'm the worst, because I know I'm the worst. But we don't need that. What we need to figure out is, why didn't this work? Why were the numbers low? Was the algorithm? Was it the presentation? Because like you were saying about guys not connecting on Twitter, I think presentation, you get that first impression. If you look at everybody can look at their analytics on Twitter and see how many people are clicking their profile. And if that number is significantly high and you're not getting follows, if people aren't sticking with you, there's something they're seeing when they click your profile that's not hooking them. Something just isn't grabbing onto people and going like, oh, okay, I know who the meme bastard is. I understand what this is. I see the smiling Ninja Turtle. This guy's a fun guy. We're following this guy. You have to figure out what that is that's going to hook people. How can you convince people that, oh, GhostGum video guy, good videos, I'm following him. ManyKudos.
He's got the Sneed.
Scandal Man.
He's got the Sneed. He's got the Sneed profile picture on Twitter. How could you not want to click that shit?
Everybody loves Sneed. Formerly,
and I will say, I think in relation to getting off the creative island, I will have to note, just for the sake of brevity, the episode of the Create Unknown 86, which is the Get Off the Creative Island. If you're wanting to hear about a little bit more about getting off your own personal island, I would recommend checking that out. That's in the description as well.
And shouts out to those guys. Those guys rock. I love their podcast.
Absolutely.
Honestly, this podcast would not exist.
Not exist at all.
Them. I don't think I exist
would not
without
exist
them at this point. Like, I don't think the Charles Con that everybody's like, even down to the microphone I'm using right now, the good microphone.
I wouldn't have ever made. I would have never made. I wouldn't have made not one YouTube video without that podcast.
We were literally founded by TCU, so that's
damn! I actually didn't know that. That's awesome.
We have like their editor. Their editor is our editor. We're kind of like a
satellite.
We're kind of like a spin-off.
Yeah,
a subsidiary.
TCU Duck.
Yeah, we're under their umbrella.
Well, their podcast is fucking awesome. I do like.
Oh yeah,
those dudes could ask me for a kidney, and I'd try to find them one.
But yeah,
we go cut motherfuckers open.
Yeah,
sorry, Tom.
I could probably. You need a kidney? I can get you a kidney.
Oh, listen. Maybe we'll talk after. I mean, contact your people.
Yeah,
exactly. There's a
Reddit. But you are actually getting into the podcast game. You want to tell us a little bit?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's in
podcast.
So me and my buddy Spot Cam. Shout out to him. He's one of my YouTube buddies. We started a podcast called The Midnight Lounge. It's a new thing. I think there's only one episode up right now, but there'll be a couple more going up soon. And so it's kind of a chill, that's the one you put in chat. Oh, it's I don't know. It's a chill thing. We kind of started together. We were just talking a lot. We were like just hopping on calls and just shooting the shit. And we're like, this would be an interesting podcast. So let's fucking do it. So we'll have some new episodes up. I want to say within the next week. I want to say at the minimum.
It'll be out by the episode. This one will be out.
yeah.
There we go. Exactly. Let's just secret it. Just say something's out.
Yeah.
Okay, something's out. Yes. There is an episode there. There will definitely be an episode up if you click it.
I'm wondering if this is going to be up by April Fools. If me and GhostGum can keep our heat going.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go back on Twitter.
Watch out for that beef.
Oh man,
hot beef.
Keep the beef going.
Exactly. But,
I'll sell it. I'll sell it like a son of a bitch too. Oh man,
he will make merch. Like Charles Cotton will make beef merch.
Dude, that might be good for my Twitter following. That might boost my fucking.
Let's go to
war. Bump it up because.
Anybody knows how to build a Twitter?
For, Ukraine and Russia. Look how much they've made.
Anybody knows how to build a Twitter? That's the mass bet.
No one had ever heard of Ukraine until like a week ago, right? Like,
I know.
Now they're popping. Now they're trending and all that shit. Like
I'm so torn about the conflict in Ukraine and how awful this is.
People dying is usually a bad thing.
I have a friend, one of my good friends. Well, I went to a high school in Toronto. We had a lot of Yuki kids, a lot of Ukrainian kids in like West Toronto. And a bunch of my friends, one of them was trying to go over there to fucking fight because he was like born there.
There have been people I've talked to here in West Virginia where I'm at. There are some good old boys who are talking about getting plane tickets and going to the Ukraine, figuring out how they can get there and get their piece of flesh because they're ready for war too.
It's crazy.
Just to do it. And there's been some memes going around about SAS guys going over and
full foreign legion.
Yeah, I've some of the French guys that had heat with KGB in Russia from 30 years ago. Who are older guys now, but are still special forces. So these are dudes you don't want to mess with. Even a 70-year-old dude who's special forces is not a guy you want to F with.
A man with nothing left to give, but everything not to lose.
It reminds me of those Steven Seagal movies, like the recent ones where he's like 65 years old, and it's like we got to send in our best guy. We got to send in the big guns.
I would love to write one of those movies because it would just be the most violent movie ever. That's what I picture when I think of what is a good direct-to-DVD Stone Cold or Steven Seagal movie or Michael Jai White. What are they going to do in this movie? Dude. It needs to be popping out eyeballs with a knife. It needs to be tannerite. It needs to be white phosphorus. It needs to be...
I watched Spawn, and it was like that movie fucking... That's a movie.
It's a fun movie. I maintain the Spawn movie. Listen, you want to... Now we have legitimate heat. Hanging up on my wall right now is a Violator action figure from the 90s. No,
it's a fun movie. It's a piece of shit, but it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And John Leguizamo's in it, as the demon. I still don't really fully understand the plot, but
all right.
But that guy,
the fun thing about that movie is weirdly follows mostly along the comic book. And
I heard the comics were good. I heard they were good.
Yeah, the first 30 or so issues are great. Some of the better comic books of the 90s are that first run of Spawn. The first 5-6 years. The comic book follows along pretty decently, where it's a lot of Spawn living with bums in the alleys. In the movie, they changed his buddy to a little boy instead of being just this nasty bum. I feel like for a movie, that's a good adaptational change. When we talk about changes from adaptations, that's one that I think of okay, that's going to get people going in a way that, all right, it's an old bum that he's because at one point in the comic he actually brings that bum back to life. I wish they'd done more with the Spawn gimmick of the number counting down, because Spawn only has so much ectoplasm or necroplasm. That's what it's called.
Necroplasm. I was going to say the bum is actually the comics creator Todd McFarlane, the homeless man.
Oh, Todd McFarlane, yeah.
Hello, I'm Todd McFarlane, and welcome to Spawn.
No, he goes.
The best.
If you had to be on Satan's carousel or watch your friend get it on with your lover, what would you do? I'm Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn.
Everybody needs to go watch the Spawn HBO show, because Todd McFarlane did intros for every episode,
it's
and
hilarious.
He sells it so hard. Let me tell you something about the Devil's Carousel.
He's in his twisted writer's room. He's in this basement. Yeah, I've seen that. It's fucking hilarious.
There's a fun piece of tape you can find also where him and Rob Liefeld are designing a character with Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, yeah.
Oh my god, really?
The character that they design eventually becomes Overkill in the Spawn comic book, this big cyborg guy that Spawn fights early on in the run, 3-4 issues in. In the show, they call him Overkill. Oh my god, Tom found the stupid video. Holy smokes. And the boys look like they're 22 in this video.
Absolutely.
So
green as hell. Green as hell.
Yeah, but they're already millionaires. These guys made some money. Once they made the move to man, that's the Image comic story is so fascinating. I don't know how that hasn't become a movie yet. Even a Pirates of Silicon Valley kind of made for TV movie about how all these dudes that were superstar artists for Marvel and DC decided that, well, screw them. They're taking our stuff. They're censoring us. I'm done with this. They own everything. What if we just made our own stuff together and owned it all ourselves and published it all ourselves? And only one guy is still there really doing his own book. Even Todd McFarlane, I don't think he's doing Spawn.
He got the fuck out.
Yeah, I think he's overseeing things. He might do some stuff here and there, but he's got so much else going on with the toy company and everything else. He's got a finger
his toy
in.
company makes gangbusters more than I think he ever made in comics, unfortunately.
But eventually, the different guys, they sort of spun off, and some of them ended up selling back to DC, which is even crazier. There's one character that there's been so many weird controversies with Spawn in particular. I believe it was issue 9. There's a character introduced called was it Athena? She's some kind of angel or something. God, I can't think of the name of this character. Angela. Is Angela, that's
Angela.
Right. Yeah. She's got a spear and she's a Spawn hunter. Introduced in that issue. Neil Gaiman wrote that issue. So, as part of the Miracle Man and Marvel Man thing, he ended up selling... So, there was this character called Marvel Man that...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's... Alan Moore wrote a bunch of them in the 80s, and Neil Gaiman wrote a few of them. There was a big fight about the rights to it, and Todd McFarlane was involved in the lawsuit. Once that all got settled... They sold Marvel Man, which is Miracle Man, back to Marvel, and also sold Angela to Marvel. So now Angela is a Marvel Comics character despite having started as an Image Comics character. And I feel like I've just completely lost Jen now talking about weird
my brain has it's broken now.
Brain broken.
It's broken.
I always think of this when I'm like, all right, so what happened was, is you see, he was Akeem the African Dream, but then he became a one-man gang.
Yeah, he's one-man gang because Keem the African Dream was a parody of Dusty Rhodes,
See, he was
the American Dream.
He was part of Demolition, but then he became the Repo Man.
Yes.
He was going to repossess stuff.
And then he had a whole gimmick. He came back for the gimmick battle royale at X7. And then GhostGum and Jen immediately said, fuck the both of these wrestling nerds.
I feel like we might have even lost Ghost, and I feel like Ghost...
Exactly.
I don't know.
But Ghost,
I'm sure there's somebody else out there that can explain a comic book scandal better than me.
You know what you could check out? You could check out youtube.com/GhostGum and check out some of the greatest content out there that explains some of the weirdest controversies out there, such as, John Cena.
Let me tell you, not only
you guys have done
are
your
his
research.
videos,
goddamn.
yes, not only are his videos just extremely good. I'm never bored watching a GhostGum video, by the way. He's literally one of the nicest people I've met on YouTube, bar none.
You guys.
Big sweet boy.
Yeah, all the mean things I've said over the last month with GhostGum was all a work. I have talked mad stuff about this guy and said the most insulting things about him. I'm not going to apologize because I may have crossed the line at some point over the last month.
Yeah, bringing up my mom, that was a bit much, I think.
Well, if she hadn't, it's a whole thing. It's all
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm taking over. I'm hijacking. Welcome back to hijacking time. You can follow Dearest GhostGum on Twitter at @NotGhostGum.
Nice. Yeah, it's very confusing, but yes,
I like that.
Exactly. And you can find his podcast over at Midnight Lounge on the YouTube.
Midnight Lounge.
Go and check out some of the content right there. But if I have my personal favorite right now off the top of my head, it's going to be Reddit Island. Reddit Island is a standout and hit 1 million views.
That was pretty recently. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm very, very glad to hear that, matey potato.
Attaboy,
so
GhostGum.
Thanks, boys and girls.
Exactly. Anything on the cab that you could talk about? Any videos on your personals?
There's a video I'm working on now. It's gonna be about the Zuck, or he's gonna have something to do with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's gonna be.
You can't cuck the Zuck.
Yeah, well, we're gonna try.
His sister's fucking insane.
Yeah. So that's in the works now. There's also the new anti-work video that I released as we're recording this. I released it yesterday.
Downfall of anti-work.
Yes, good, so good.
Yes.
I was
I remember you bringing this up when the whole thing went down. I think you posted in the group.
That character from Anti-Work that went on to Fox News. Oh my God.
It's
destroyed it.
I feel like we're only scratching the surface of what's going on there with that interview and what they've been up to. There's so much going on. Like, that character is going to pop back up again.
Well, I've gotten like emails and stuff from people like kind of who claim to have like behind the scenes stuff of what was going on, and like and that whole guy who created the other subreddit and then got banned from his own sub, like, it's just a mess. Like, the whole thing, there's so much going on there. It's like there was stuff I didn't even cover in the video that was like just because it was just like too much.
Everybody loves a sequel, GhostGum. People like Star Wars, but people love The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, hell, I'm with you there, but yeah.
There really is a lot of prequel stuff there, like the Reddit degenerates, the Discord mods, Reddit mod videos. It's just a smorgasbord of content. Because I think each video that you put out in regards to Reddit and its system really just it scratches a little bit, and the more you watch, the more it unveils itself to everyone. And it's Reddit. 100%
that's like one of the most. That's like one of the most frequent comments I get is like, "Well, I've been feeling this for so long, but I'm just so happy to see someone put it into words." So I'm just like, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying, especially with the degenerate stuff, because like, you know, it was kind of, especially for the r/teenagers, and, you know, for those of you who didn't watch the video, it's like, you know, they kind of, this other subreddit kind of exposed how like most of the people on there weren't even teenagers. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
who would have thunk it? People lied on the internet. No,
and it's like, but the funny thing is like that was a
nobody
meme.
lies on Reddit. Come
Reddit
on.
You know, there's
that was a meme for a while.
I'm a
was
black
like,
woman.
Yeah. I actually have been banned from my local subreddits for LARPing and some stuff I'm not. But
you have. That's right. I remember you talking about that.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh god.
Yes.
Pretty. Yeah. But yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway, I would recommend going to GhostGum's channel, and I think Kudos previously talked about this, and I've talked about this on the podcast, mentioning Kudos. It's dinner time food, like dinner time videos. We play a video and just let it watch and just have food. It's just you sat there and you fill the mind, you fill the stomach at the same time. It's good stuff.
Well, two of channels I love. We actually talked about them here. Vince Vintage and ManyKudos. Those guys have the best mealtime videos. You can just throw on, and you're like, oh, I can really get into this, like, you know.
It's a good trifecta. It's a good triforce. It's a triforce food down your throat before choking and vomiting. And so we'll have to say, dear Shen, what are you working on, matey?
I'm trying to get stuff done.
That's right. Charles Khan, what are you working on, matey?
Oh, brother, I've got so much stuff. So this is coming out later. So we've got the rollout has begun to happen slowly but surely. All the YouTube content, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I'm everywhere. I am burying the world in content. If you're listening to this now, youtube.com/CharlesCon, twitch.tv/CharlesCon. I'm everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And you got to shout out the Twitter. Give me the Twitter.
Mask Bastard.
There we go.
Mask_bastard.
Exactly. And I'm working on stuff as well, but I have to say, thank you so much, GG, for coming. That we actually get to have a cheeky chin wag together.
Hell yeah!
But it was all.
Really appreciate you guys for having me on. Thanks.
Appreciate
I genuinely do.
Man.
Thank you.
We'll just all appreciate everybody. Appreciate the heat.
No, you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. This is the makeup episode.
Yeah. This is back together.
We're like together now. Kiss.
Yeah.
Is that? But I hope you're at home giving yourself a little kiss in the end. And we want to say thank you so very much. And stay weird and stay sick. And we'll see you next time.
Wait,
Bye.
did I say I really hated women?